Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is not financial advice. I just hope a bunch of other myths, baby, because it's about to get hot in the kitchen. You already know what time it is, baby. Let me know where you from in the chat. I see Houston is in the building. Let's get it. Let's get it. I see you, baby. I see New York is in here. I see California is in here. Oh, we got Whittier, California here today, too. I love it. Now, family, hit that like button as you're rolling in. You already know what time it is. This is not financial advice. However, what I like to do is demonstrate to you that trading can be profitable. But we already know what time it is. What do we have to do? We have to respect the laws, baby. Now let's look at the laws together real quick, as we always do. So let's take a quick look at this. Pay attention. If you need to take a screenshot of this, please go ahead and do so. What is the laws? The laws are as follows. 98% of traders are not profitable. So you're going to hear people talking about trading and have no idea what they're talking about. Why? Because they either never done it or never traded profitably or never seen somebody trading profitably. But what does that mean? This means that, you know what? There are a few people who are profitable. So what are they doing that's different than what most people are doing? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, right? Now, check this. Technically, 1.6% of traders are profitable. So let's try to see what they're doing. Understand this. This is one of the things that they understand, that you will lose sometimes. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. Shout out to Chattanooga in the building. I see you. I see you. Michigan is in the house too. Oman in the building. Houston. Hey, Georgia. Now, law number 1, 98% of profit or traders are not profitable. Law number 2, you will lose sometimes. Law number 3, you got to make your losses small. Since we're going to lose, we don't want to lose a lot. How do we do that? There's 2 ways. 5 to 10% stop loss. If you do not know how to use a stop loss, hold up. You know what you need to stop? Stop the cap. You need to stop the cap and go ahead and learn how to use a stop loss. Go to the open for work. I forget what we just renamed it in the Discord. Let me just double check, family. You know what time it is. You know we got to keep it real. We got to keep it real. It's called Open Chat Safe for Work, or even the class options, or the options class one, where it says class questions. And write how to stop loss. You got to know how to do it before you get into any trade. Make sure that you've taken the classes, and we don't trade with more than 5% of our portfolio at one time. Now that looks like this for a lot of my family who are new here. Take a look. You see this? Options trading is the hottest thing you can basically do when you're trading in the market. So shout out to Hawaii. Shout out to Hawaii. With that being said, what we're going to do is trade with 5% of the portfolio max. This means all of the money that you have, 5% of it max. You hear people blowing up their accounts, blah, blah, blah. They're not being responsible. We got to be responsible, or else we're going to end up right up here with the people who are losing. Now, holding overnight is risky in any case. So with that being said, especially in a bear market when you're waiting for news catalysts, you know what time it is? Now, the game is not fair, family. The game ain't fair. We knew that. How? TA works 70% of the time, but then you ask yourself, why is that? That means if you get into 10 trades using technical analysis, it's very likely that 7 of them, you're going to be like, yo, what happened? What's likely to happen is news or some form of manipulation from the market makers and other institutions like that. So now that we got the laws and you understand the law of the land, baby, LA is in the house. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it going and look at how we've been doing. Let's review. So this is a recap. All of the green are profitable days. The red are days that are not profitable, that are losses. Remember, you will lose. That's law number 2. That's law number 2. So since that's law number 2, what that means is we got to make them small. So look at the wins compared to the losses. And then we got gray. Gray means, you know what? There was no clear signal. And we trade with the chart, not with our heart, baby. I wore the uniform to work. You know what time it is. We trade with the chart, not with our heart. You trade with your heart. That's how you get smoked. That's how you get the charts, man. It'll leave you on red. The charts will dump you on Valentine's Day. Family, look, we ain't having that. We ain't having that. Nah. So, okay. Today, we got January 10th, 2023. This is where we are. So now, you're going to hear me say a few things in this that I want you to be able to understand. You said laying down a law. That's right. Laying down a law. That's how I got to be. You're going to hear me say a few things in this, and I want you to understand what I mean by that. My people who've been rocking with me for a long time, you already know. I say this. Let's say that I get into an option and it costs 1, right? 0.1. Let's even keep it simpler than that, right? Let's say it costs 0.5. AKA, that means that this contract is gonna cost me $50, right? I'm putting my stop loss on 5%. Let's say that I even put it on 10%, right? Stop loss on 10%. AKA, I'm putting it on so yeah, kick me on out of here. If I lose $5, which is the 10% of the 50, kick me out of that, right? Boom, I'm out. So now your new options price, let's say that instead of going down, because there are two outcomes. The first outcome is it's going to kick me out down $5. It is what it is, right? Sometimes you will lose. So we keep our losses small. Let's say that it kicks me out. Boom. You know what? It's a part of the game. But the other outcome is if the option price goes up. What if it goes up to, let's call it 70 or something like that, right? You know how options do. What if it goes up to 70? Then that means I'm changing my stop loss and I'm moving her up. I might even move her up to 65, AKA $65. What does that mean? This means that my stop loss, it used to be here and I updated it to here. And what do? I go to modify order in Webull and I just change it. Let's say that this thing keeps going, right? It's freaking pumping and it goes to 75. Shoot, I might change this to 70 because I want to get kicked out really, really high up. Right? If she keep pumping, hey, I'm upping my stop loss again and again and again and again. You said that you saw your screen. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, so now let's go back to the charts and let's see what we got. So right now, we're looking at the Qs, right? TQQQ. We're gonna go and look at the SPY as well, but for now, we're looking at TQQQ. We're gonna set our levels using the watch list from yesterday, right? So I'm gonna go over to the watch list and I'm gonna put that in. Shout out to South Asia, man. Shout out to South Asia. So at this point in the video, and let me actually fix myself because I feel like my camera has changed. Let me fix myself so you can see me over here in this corner. All right, cool. So now I fixed myself a little bit so you can see me over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to the watch list. We're gonna add in our green lines. We're gonna add in our red lines and our blue lines. So the green and the red lines, and again, pay close attention to this. If you are on Webull desktop or any kind of thing, I would like you to set the lines before me so that you can see, oh, this is where it should have been, or that's where it should have been. Charleston in the house, shout out to y'all. Shout out to South Korea too. All right, let's see it. I'm going to the watch list, looking at the Qs, and then I see that I'm looking for strength above 815, right? So that's my green. That's where I'm looking at. And again, these numbers change. These numbers do change, but I'm looking for strength above about 815. So that's right here. Strength means many different things. I have it listed, but we're not going to get into that just yet. We're just going to draw our lines. So I got the green line here, which you tell me, okay, start looking at calls. If I'm seeing strength up there, right? All options are risky. There's no, you said J Powell gonna speak soon? Yep. There's no guarantees. So you gotta play it in a risk management mindset. You have to. So now let's look for our red line. Our red line is 1725. This is on the Qs. So then let's go. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yep, so that's about here at this support right here. However, you could argue that this is one, but this is more like a blue line. But let's make this one red. All right, boom. So these come from the watch list. So we got a level of support. At that point, we'd have already broken through one level of support. All right, cool. So what am I looking at right now? I'm looking for my lower blue line. My lower blue line is here. So how do we do the blue lines? We have our price action happening. We have our newest candle. On the bottom here, what I'm going to do is put the blue line. And now we have two confirmations on the blue line. We have one here from about 2 days ago. And then we have one, or actually, what is this, Friday? Yeah, and then we have, so 2 market days ago. You say you guess Ken is busy today? You should be able to see it, big dog. I don't know what's going on. So here we go. One confirmation from over here and one from here. We break through this. This is telling me early entries on a put right here. And then my early entries on a call. I'm going to put it here because I can see all of these sellers. I can see all of these sellers right here. So if we blow by them, and we almost have 2 confirmations. So 1 and 2. However, we can see this already. We have our upper blue line and our upper green line. They're very close. So let's go on to the, I'm doing this on a 30. So you could just see the distance, and I could go back. I had to go back in time to find it, right? But now we can see it. If you want to get more granular with it, we could come back. But I want to go get my words. So let me go grab them. Let's look at the hour chart. Oh, I never drew them on this one. They're on the SPY. So let's look at the 5 real quick. I might have to just rewrite them. But look, see? When you make them on a 30 or you make them on a different time frame, what happens is it's still the same lines. Because the numbers are the same. Just the distance between them are different. Hold on, fam. I'm just going to zoom in real quick, so I can see this a little bit better. Because you see how spaced out this is. Oh, y'all know we got a new Speaker of the House. No more Nancy Pelosi, family. As a Speaker of the House representative, we got somebody new. It will never be the same. The GOAT, she going to spend her $200 million on a $200,000 a year salary. How she do that? Magic. Okay, boom. We got our lines, 5-minute time frame. Again, though, this is close to the other one. So let me go over to the SPY, ticker symbol SPY, and let's go and grab our words and bring them on over here. And we can also chart the SPY. And again, never feel like you're in a rush to trade. When you're in a rush, that's how your portfolio gets hushed. It gets put to sleep because you about to get smoked. All right. And since we know Law 5 is going to be in effect today, we have to be cautious. What is Law 5, family? The game ain't fair. Why? News. We got some news, so we got to get cautious. I must have said something funny. I see it laughing in the chat. All right. So here we go. Let me try to grab this. Could I? Man, how the heck I open this up? Hold up, fam. I'm trying to get in this one. So far, the market's going a little bit. Again, news catalyst. You got to be on the lookout. So, Keenan, were you a language arts teacher? No, I taught science and engineering and math. Let's see. I don't think it's going to let me in. Text, maybe. Hey. Okay, but I set it up on the cues, so let's go look. All right, cool. So what I got to do is I got to get my, boom. So whenever I buy, I'm not telling you to follow it. You got to be able to learn how to do it. This is a demonstration for you to see how being a profitable trader can happen. You will lose sometimes, remember that, but you got to practice your entries. So what we're going to do is I'm looking for that 19 on the cues. However, since I'm on the 5-minute time frame, right? Since I'm on a 5-minute time frame, what I got to understand is this. I don't expect to be in there long at all. I might even be out in 5 minutes or less. So, all right, boom. we are breaking through. And I got my RSI. RSI is not overcooked. And we have our MACD now as well. I want them to switch though. Okay, MACD is up. RSI is up. I need to open this up on my phone. All right, Qs. Again, we already know what's going on. We know J Powell. This is not confirmation. Remember, confirmation lives above the line. All right, so yeah, I'm at the Qs right now. And I'm looking for expiration date 20, the same one on the watch list. I'm looking at the calls. I'm looking at 19. Right now, the bid and the ask on 19 is about 65. I'll share it with you so you can see what I'm talking about when you hear me like calling numbers out. I'm looking at the ask. I'm looking at the bid. All right, let me just zoom this back a little bit. So we are already approaching the other resistance. Like if you're wondering why you wouldn't just shoot past it like so quick, it's taking time because there's two resistances really, really close to each other. Okay, so let me just open this up for you so you can see what I'm looking at. This, right? This is the one on the watch list. $19, $20 January. I mean, 19 expiration, the 20th of January, 2023. When you hear me calling on numbers like, yo, this is 65, this is 61, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at the spread, right? I'm looking at the ask mostly. Excuse me. So boom, let me get back. Remember, confirmation lives above the line. When you wait for your confirmation, it's let me try to draw it. And sometimes you miss your entry and it's just a part of the game. It happens like all the time. Where you're like, yo, I wish I would have got in right there. If you start to chase, sometimes chasing will help you to get in, but you're going to get lucky. And when you get lucky, boom, you actually lose long term. Luck is not a long-term strategy. So, all right. We have no confirmation yet. Still, you can chase, but you know, you might get lucky, but it's not a good strategy long term. So, okay. RSI is just ever so oversold. I mean, overbought. It's at 73. And then we got the MACD is up. Yo, she pumping, baby. She is pumping. Again, what's going on? It's probably just the news. The news. She is pumping. Straight up. Whittier is in the house. You said, am I waiting for a breakdown? No, I'm looking at calls. I'm just not going to chase it. If I miss an entry, I'm not going to run and chase it. You be the judge. You be the judge. But I'm not going to run and chase it. So now we're trying to get a candle to confirm above the lines. Right? So remember, previous resistances usually act as new supports. RSI is 74. We are finding a little bit of resistance up here. To be honest though, I can't say it's a lot, but we're finding some resistance. But look at this bottom candle, how long it is. This means the buyers is really right there, family. The buyers is really, really there. So now it would have been nice to get in when I first saw it at 65. However, just know, if you miss your entry, it is what it is. Yep, you said Powell is speaking. Yeah, yep, you know how that go. Any news catalyst is going to be huge in the market. Powell could say something right now that could be the best thing ever for the market, or not. I want to leave the charts real quick and take a look, but I want to do the most, you know? So let's just go and take a quick look. Okay. Wow, Coinbase is letting off 20% of their workers. Yikes. Oh, yeah. Don't forget about this too. Microsoft is trying to plan, or reportedly trying to buy $10 billion in ChatGPT. They want to buy like 49% of it. But yeah. All right, whatever. So let's come back. Now let's see. We're going to see if this is support and look for entry. You said also Eugene. Again, you see why we don't rush into it? It's usually never worth it. When you chase. Chasing is not a good sign. I listen to the charts and that's all I do. Simple as that. You said Google is down because of Microsoft news? Yeah. They've been wanting to take over. You remember when Microsoft back in the day, when what did they start? It was called Bing, right? Microsoft had Bing. And they put billions of dollars into that. They were trying to overtake the search engine space. Okay, it looks like she's starting to show, at least on the order book, a little bit of weakness. AKA, we not seeing strength up here. RSI is cooling off a little bit. It's at 68. You said why 5 minute candles? Because I don't want to be in it all day. A lot of people, I want you to think about this. If you holding options overnight or you holding it for a long time, you open yourself up to risks that you wouldn't have had if you let it go, right? This is why law number 4 is holding overnight is risky. So many people, and again, let me know in the chat. You could do this. You could still do this if you want. Remember, you're the CEO of your own portfolio. But check me out. Yes or no? Do you hold options a little bit too long? Be honest, or at least has that happened to you in the past? You like, man, I should have sold that. You know what I'm saying? Yes or no? Does that happen to you? Now, family, watch this in the chat so then you can understand. My guy said he's seeing it at 0.2. Nah, big dog. I'm looking at the 20th. $19 strike. The 20th of January. Right now we at 68. You see what I'm saying? Look at the answers rolling in. Come on now. It happens. It happened to the best of us, big dog. Some ways that we know that we need to be better is because we just been holding on to these things for too long. We open ourselves up to so much risk that we don't want that risk. We don't need that risk in our lives. We got enough going on. So what I like to say is I want you to consider, oh, hold up, we getting some support. I want you to consider how much money that you make in an hour versus how long it takes you to make a certain amount of money. Because it'd be like this. Let's say you even talking to somebody, let's say they even making $50 an hour, right? Right, they doing well. They making $50 an hour, but they go and they try to trade options and boom, they made $200 this hour and they don't take the profit on that or even put a stop loss on it. And they want to hold it overnight to see if it's going to become 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Could happen, but you got to put things into perspective and get a level of respect for your own money that makes you want to manage your risk. You said, why don't you play the SPY? It's more affordable for some of us. Family, you could always change the price of the options. You just got to get, like, for example, the one I'm looking at right now, this is $67 for one contract. There's no difference in buying 10 contracts that cost $6 each. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about the scale. Like if we went and bought a contract that was $10, but bought 10 of them, boom, it's 100. You're like, oh man, I want to just think about the scale. It's all about the percentages. But look, you see why we don't chase? Because let me tell you something. Your boy definitely wanted to chase me. I'm my heart pumping like, yo, Keenan, get in this, please. Get in it, get in it, get in it. Nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Trade with the chart. Not with your heart, baby. Because, yo, I'm telling you, Tracy Pelosi. Wait, hold up. Okay, so now we're back at 65. I'm looking at the ask again. We're back at 65. The spread is 63. Okay, it's even lower now, but she's coming down. Right now, I'm looking at the cues. You said theta gate every time. That's right. That's right. Theta gated, man, to get you. So we broke through one, right? We broke through both, but then we're coming back down because we're having a news catalyst day. Okay, but again, let's go check the SPY, see what she's doing. All right, so the SPY, let's chart her out, see if she's gonna give us something today. Here we go. So this one right here, this is where I will put my early entry for a call. I'm gonna put right here. This is where I will put my early entry for a call up here, put down here. And again, remember, a lot of this is patience. When we rush through, we get smoked. When we rush through, we get smoked. Let's expand out a little bit and look for normal entries now. If you've been getting smoked a lot, that means you're just trading too much. You're trading too risky and you need to try to chill. So, okay. What do I mean by chill? I mean, you got to wait for extremely clear signals. And extremely clear signals are more rare. So since they're more rare, you just got to be more patient. That's step one. Where we at here? Yeah, I would say at 92, we'd be at a normal entry. Oh, I got this backwards. Let me make this red. Up here, that's when I would do a call. All right, cool. So I got my numbers. Technically, you could say that this up here could be the green. Definitely, right? That's a, yeah, we could leave it up there. That's fine. So, all right, boom. All right, cool. Let's go back to the 5 and see what we got. So as it stands, we are near a psychological level of resistance at the 390, right? A lot of sellers are going to be up there at that 390. But if we blow past them, then you already know what time it is. So, okay. I'm looking back at the cues again. I got that same option open. And it's looking like we're trying to confirm above our early entry on a call. However, we on a short-term downtrend. So it's mixed signals. We're confirming above the early entry on a call, but this is not necessarily strength because we're on a short-term downtrend. You said the best YouTube. Love you guys. Feel you, family. Appreciate you. Yep, my guy said TQQ is trying to pump again. It was, but we recognized that it was in a downtrend. So then we said, you know what? We got to chill. Let me go back to the SPY and grab those words again so I can put it on the cues. All right. Text, early entry on a put. Let me grab that, Control C. And let me go back to the cues and try to throw them bad boys over here. All right. So then boom. Let's go to I need some text, drawings, text, early entry on a put. All right, got that. Got that stamp, baby. And then let's write it up here too. Drawing. And remember, like I told you before, a lot of trading is being patient and being cautious and being cognizant. I actually heard somebody say that you shouldn't pay attention to the news. And I got to say, that's one of the dumbest things I ever heard. No disrespect. That's literally one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. If you're trying to trade and you don't recognize what's going on in the news, or even if you're trying to invest and you don't recognize what's going on in the news, you're gambling. You're gambling. That don't mean you got to be on the news like Jim Cramer. But at a minimum, it means you need to have a thorough understanding of what's going on with companies that you are either trading or companies that you are investing in long term. Because things change. When we go back and we look back in time and we see 10 years ago, what were the biggest companies? 20 years ago, what were the biggest companies? I think even like Yahoo and AOL and companies like that, like during the dot-com bubble, they were the biggest companies around, like around there. They're like in the Fortune 500. Normal entry on a call. And that's a 10%. Get our queue set up, baby. And I like this one to be green. Mean green money machine. All right, cool. So then let me just copy this and then we'll be done with that. And again, I want you to make sure you're paying attention to this. Why? Because I want you to be able to do it. I want you to be able to see, okay, yeah, you know what? This is the chart telling me that I can trade this. Or this is the chart telling me that I should just not trade this and I should just wait. All right, so here we go. Boom. Normal entry on a put. All right. And then that's going to be red. So now we got our words on the cues as well. We still in a relatively short downtrend. However, we could see that the buyers, could you see it? The buyers are loading up right here. Let's zoom in. This long candle on the bottom. It tried to like power through this and then boom. It pushed back up. Why? Because the buyers are right here. But this is trying to like show us that it's a battle. Today is a battle between the buyers and the sellers. You could argue that there is a short-term uptrend and we are kind of sitting on two levels of support. And I want to show them to you. Two levels of support. One of them is obviously horizontal, left to right. And then the other one is actually here. Diagonal. Look at this. Very short term. Right here. I'll make these golden right here so you can see it. Very short term, but we are technically sitting on two levels of support at once. But the gold one is super weak because it's only like one confirmation, maybe two all the way back down there, but one and then two. We're sitting at two at once. So if we ride this gold line, and you got to be able to identify these things. You said, why did I switch to trading the cues? We on both, big dog. We just trying to show you different ones. The cues and the spies, they're going to move together. The spy going to move with the cues. Cues going to move with the spy. You see how, look how similar it looks. Look at this little arch and then this one up top. Let's go over to the spy. Look at this. You basically thought we were looking at the same thing. All right. So, do you remember where we are? We are trading in between, or not trading, but we are sitting in between two blue lines. What kind of zone is that? In between the two blue lines. What zone is that? Up here, we're not. But down here, what zone is this? And I'm going to go grab it. See if the answers roll in. Honestly, though, we're getting there, our early entry on a put. So let me just go and check. Hold up, family. I think my music just changed. How'd that happen? All right. Yep. The gamble zone in between two blue lines. I'm back at the SPY. I'm going to go and look at a SPY put right now. That's right. In between two blue lines, that's the gamble zone. Yep. Straight up casino. You playing in Vegas over here. And to be honest, you could make some money at Vegas. However, it's not a good long-term strategy. And if you want to win long-term, you got to understand. So let's keep it going and let's go and look at a SPY put. Why? Because we are near the put range. However, we can see all of these buyers, but I want to go see what the prices are on the put. So let's see. I'm looking at an expiration date of today. I want to see what they cost. Didn't buy anything yet. Expiration date, I'm going to do today. I'm looking at a put with the strike 85. Okay, so as of right now that I'm looking at this one, I'm looking at the ask, I'm looking at the bid. I didn't get in anything yet, but I'm looking at it. And again, quick, do you see why this is the gamble zone, right? Tell me, when you saw this thing going down like this, all of this red, it makes you want to jump in and just do a put. You want to jump in and do a put. And look at this green. Rolling up, rolling up. This is why we wait for our confirmation, right? This is the gamble zone. I'm not surprised that it's 50-50 either way in the gamble zone. That's how it works. And those of you that recognized the gamble zone, you seen how dangerous it would be just to jump into a put, right? But as it stands, this is the current price of the put. 36. Right? When you hear me talk about, oh, it's 35, it's 36, I'm talking about usually the ask, the red price. I'm looking at the 385.10 of their 10th of January put. That don't mean I'm buying it. That means I'm looking at it because I want to know what the price of these things are. Okay. So now again, like I told you, we never get married to a direction. What we're looking at now, that we're getting even closer to the calls, is we just want to know the price of these things. You say you don't like the gamble zone. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Yep, my guy said that's like diving into an empty swimming pool. That's right. But again, let me tell you, you could make some money there, but it's just a gamble. It's a gamble. You get into a put. Oh yeah, we about to print, baby. And then whoop, it's up. He said charting is starting to make more sense. That's why we trade with the charts, not with our hearts, baby. Let's get it. So, okay. Now, like I always tell you, we don't get married to a direction, right? We don't get married to a direction. What we do is we say, okay, yeah, we were getting closer to the put range. We needed to know the price. But now we're getting back closer to the call range. So now we switch our mind back and go to the calls because we're getting closer to the call range. We might hit a double top right here, which is a negative signal, but let's see. And what call would I be looking at? Let's go and just see what today's expiration, 390. Let's see what it costs on a call option. 390 call expiration today, January 10th. That one is 96. She's 92. Okay, so we're finding some resistance up here again. Like I was telling you before with the gold line. Like I was telling you before with the golden line. Sort of, kind of, maybe a little bit. We are finding some support, right? Like it's a baby uptrend. Little baby uptrend, right? 1, 2. We are way far away from the bottom of the trend. So this means we basically are finding another resistance up here, but we would like to get some confirmation up there. We would love it. And on the flip side though, unless this pumps up higher, this is still a downtrend. Shorter term. From here to here, you have a peak and then you have a lower peak. But yep, we in that gamble zone. So if we look up and we look at the calls, so the 390 is 89.91 is changing the ask price. If we look at the 391 and 392, let's look at the 392. 392 is 40 right now with a lot of sell pressure on it. So right now I'm looking at the 392 January 10. Right now it's 39, 40. So again, we are in the gamble zone near a resistance. We are in the gamble zone near a resistance. The RSI though is not overbought and the MACD is still up. Look at that. Classic gamble zone. Classic gamble zone. It's up and it's down. It's up and then it's down. My guy said the Qs are moving. Let's go and look. Okay, look. Trying to potentially confirm up here. Confirmation is an entire candle that lives outside of here. You said, never mind, fake pump. Remember, big dog, when you on the line, that's a almost signal. You know what I mean? It's almost a signal, but it's not necessarily one. It's kind of like you see something sitting on the edge, right? It could blow either way. And the wind is like blowing it a little bit. You don't really know for sure. But to be honest though, like we said before, it's still on this golden uptrend. It still is. Is it going to come back and retest this golden line and then continue up? Let's see. Yep, you said Qs is up and down. And Qs aren't even in the gamble zone. They honestly sticking to a medium term kind of an uptrend. But then the SPY is just in that gamble zone. Again, tell me you didn't want to get puts right here and then calls right here. And look at it. It's just up and down gamble. Can you explain the yellow line? So, all right. The yellow line is just, I could just see that it's in an uptrend. Like if you were to zoom out, we got two confirmations on this line. One, and then basically two right here. So one touch, two touch. Just to give us a visual that this thing is still technically in an uptrend, but it's very shallow. And again, we gotta trade with the charts, not with our hearts. So, okay, I'm looking at that same SPY call. I'm looking at the 92 now, right? It's at 29. So this means that the SPY is probably coming down. The ask is 29. Yep, so SPY's coming down a little bit more. And it's showing weakness, but it's in the gamble zone. And I'm not gonna trade in the gamble zone. We see the MACD. Sometimes I will, but a lot of times we shouldn't. You said, can you explain all the lines? Play it back a little bit, you family. I redo them every time. Can the Qs help indicate the trend on the SPY and vice versa? So I guess you could think of it like that, but they basically following the same exact trend. Like if you look at them, they're gonna be very similar. This one arch right here, this one arch right here, and then a quick pump, and then a dump. And then let's go back here. This is the SPY now. Look, it basically look exactly the same. You say your RSI is different. If you're on Webull desktop, it should be very similar. But there are multiple kinds of RSIs. Okay, yeah. And like I said, you see, technically on a longer term, when you look like, let's say an hour back, we on an uptrend. However, in the last like 20 minutes, we're on a downtrend. Hour, uptrend. Last 20 minutes, a bit of a downtrend. But we're in this gamble zone in between these two. When you trade in the gamble zone, you might get smoked. So you're not using the 1348? We could. Let's go indicators, EMA. I might got to reset it on here. I might have to reset it. I have my EMA set to 1348, but I don't have it right now. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, 20 minutes, last 20 minutes, we've been in a downtrend. We know that there's a significant amount of buyers right where we are about to approach. So we might get a little bit of a dump all the way down to 387, and then it'll probably try to repump again. So now that we're going down, I'm going to switch my mind back because, again, we don't get married to a direction. We want to look and see. Hold up. Let me just show you something real quick. You got to be able to see these buyers here. There's so many of them. Look at this. This entire zone right here is full of buyers. Buyers pump it up. This entire zone. Look at these long wicks on the bottoms of all of these candles. This means that the buyers are here. This is why it's very dangerous to get a put. You might get it right and it might burn through them, but understand that's how it's going. Is there a video where to set up how to do the lines? I do every video in the beginning. So start this one over and just try to watch me slow because I do it real time. How can you see the buyers? The buyers are the long wicks on the bottom of the candle. This is a huge indicator that they're there. The only reason that there are super long wicks is because buyers have pushed it up. And look, they're trying again. Yeah, rewatch this video or go to announcements and look at any video with this title. And when the lines come up, I do them in real time. That's why they look like they're geared toward this exact chart, because I did it during this live. You said the IV is lower on the SPY because SPY is generally less volatile. No doubt, Jackie. All right, yeah. However, let's just be clear, family. This is showing, there's buyers here, but this is showing weakness. We are in a clear downtrend. Very clear. Let's go back to the Qs real quick. The Qs is still following this uptrend, but it's very weak and it's getting weaker. So if you're sitting in a call or sitting in a put, either one, you basically just going flat, or actually you're probably losing because of theta. Where do you get the watch list numbers? On the watch list, it's a tab in the Discord. If you look on the left, it's in the kitchen. Yep, TQQ is riding this line. We would like it to confirm above this, but it's really riding line. All right, so let's go back to the SPY again. Just know, family, I'm in my focus zone right now. I want to see something happen, but we're in the gamble zone. Let me actually go back and see if I can grab that and move it over here. That word. Here we go. Gamble zone. Let me move it closer to the candle so I can actually see it. Gamble zone. 5 minute. 30-minute. Here we go. Gamble zone. $5-minute. Hold up. I don't see her no more. Gamble zone. There we go. Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready, baby. All right. So when people tell you that investing is gambling, this is what I tell you. They usually don't know what they're talking about and they can't explain to you what they mean. But in between these blue lines, this is what they heard about, but this is what it is. When you try to get a call or a put and you're not focused on the charts, you just letting anything happen. Is there any way to find without going through the Discord? All right. The lives are going to be in the announcements and the lives are also going to be in the event at the very top of the Discord. If you go look right now, it's there. You said this chop is boring. Yo, who you telling? Who you telling? But I'll tell you this. One thing that ain't boring is having the opportunity and potential to make money. And then also the skill to be able to see when it's time to chill, right? You got to have the skill to know when to chill. Okay, we starting to get uptrend again. So I'm going back to the Qs. I'm going back to the Qs because the Q looks like we might have 2 levels of support right here, right? An uptrend on the longer term and then a confirmation above the green line. So then TQQQ. However, we do know that we are battling with number 5 today, right? The game ain't fair. Sometimes it's manipulation happening and sometimes it's the news. Today we got one of those news days. So let's move this over a little. And again, I want you to know how to play options. I want you to know how to trade, right? Rather be bored than losing money. Because you know what's exciting, but in a bad way? Blowing up your account. That's exciting. I tell you, be the most excited you were when your account is freaking getting smoked. I need to get ain't nobody got time for that, but I got it don't move. It don't move. Okay, yeah, look, we confirming up. So I'm looking at the Qs and I'm looking at 19. Right now she's at about 50. You could argue that she didn't really confirm just yet, but she's at 49. She's at 49. And I'm going to try to load up on some at 49, unless I get a little bit of a better price. Let me just try to see. The ask is 49 on a $19 strike, TQQQ. Expiration 13 January. This is the one I'm looking at right now. I just shared with you real quick. I did not buy it yet, but I'm trying to take a screenshot so I could send it over your way so you can get a quick look. Not telling you to buy this. I'm telling you what I'm looking at. And the price is 50 right now. Technically, we didn't confirm above it. We're still sitting on that line. Like if you really look. I'm going to jump in at 50. I tried to jump in at 49, but I couldn't. I'm willing to trade 5,000. So right now, I'm going to just get in with, here we go. I'm posting it to Keenan's trades on my entry. I'm just going to trade 2,000 at this moment. Okay. And now she's pumping. So you know what I like to do when she starts to pump. I like to put my stop loss up. And you notice how quick this stuff happens. And again, one thing I like to do is talk you through it while I'm doing it. So you see that I try to get in at 49, but I had to get in at 50. It is what it is. So I'm gonna go and put my stop loss up. I sell the close. I put my stop on. Okay, how am I doing this? I'm trading with the chart. I'm not trading with my heart. And I respect money. So what I mean by respecting money is, and again, Keenan's Trades is where I post this on a Discord. People who've been rocking me for a long time, you knew that. So right now I'm up $260, which is 13%. But again, you may be asking yourself, yo, man, I want to hit the home run. Remember your respect for money. You got to have the respect for money. What I mean by that is, think about how much money you make in an hour and then compare that. Right? So right now, okay, hey, now I'm up $300. So I'm going to go move my stop loss again. I'm going to go move my stop loss again. And remember, this is only trade number one. So now I'm up $300. So she's moving a little bit. And now the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to just show you how people tell you time and time again, blah, 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 blah. You can't make money trading. So many traders ain't profitable. You remember how we were just talking about how it's boring, right? It's boring to wait and it's boring, blah, blah, blah. It's not boring if you're going to win and you be rewarded for your patience. You know what I'm saying? 1 hour, you made this is awesome, right? Look at that. $300 in an hour. You can't, what kind of job is doing that? Who has a job that's doing that? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. So I'm not done. I'm still looking. But understand this. People tell you, man, you can't trade in blah, blah, blah. It's not profitable. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, just because you can't do it, when I hear stuff like that, that don't mean that I can't do it, right? I just hear people with this negative self-talk, talking everybody down. Nah, get out of here with that. So, okay. So now where are we? We're still confirmed up above here. You say you got 10% so far? Listen, I love it. I love it. We got to respect for money. That's important. You said very good. How do you lock in profit? You put your stop loss up like I was talking about earlier. You put your stop loss up higher. So right now, I'm just sitting in this one. So understand though, we are above the normal entry for a call. RSI is about to oversell, but it's not there yet, right? RSI is about to I keep saying oversell, overbuy, but we're not there yet, right? We're not there just yet. We pumping still. We pumping. And I was telling y'all, I was trying to get in at the 49, but I couldn't. So I got in at the 50, but it still was okay. And she's just going and going and going. Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it would have been better than 49, but it is what it is. You said it took less than an hour to make that. Yep. Put your stop loss up, big dog. You say you reserve your trading days for when you live. I appreciate you. RSI. Yep, somebody just asked. I got you. How to explain the RSI? So I've been keeping this one up because I've been asked. So take a look at this right here. RSI. RSI 30 is called oversold, too much selling. RSI 70 is called overbought, too much buying. Imagine that this is the stock chart. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up. When we get to 70, when it's overbought, look what happens. It comes back down. And when we get to oversold, it comes back up, right? So take a screenshot of this. So if you see the RSI is all the way up here, this is negative pressure, meaning it's about to get pushed down. If you see the RSI is all the way down here, this is positive pressure, meaning it's likely to get pushed back up. So, okay, let's keep it going. Okay, yeah. So as it stands, I'm still up over $300 on this. And you know what time it is. I'm putting my stop loss higher like I always do. So then I get kicked out with profit. So I get kicked out with profit. Take a look at this. So 380. And again, I've been on this live stream for 1 hour and about 3 minutes. It's totally possible. This is now, so I put in what? 2,000 of the 5,000 that I was willing to trade with. And I'm just waiting for my stop loss to just kick me out and then I'm done. But I'm not done for the day. I'm looking for re-entry after kick out. How many orders did I purchase? Go look at Keenan's trades, family. That's what I be telling you. If you want to see, as soon as I buy it, I post it there. Let me see. 40. But even if you picked up one, even if you just picked up one at $50, you would have still been up the same percent. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about, family. Playing the ride up, and then boom. You say you bought one. Exactly. You got to buy what you could buy. Like I was saying before, if I got on here with, I don't know, somebody like Meet Kevin, right? Meet Kevin got more money than me. He would have probably bought 4,000 of them. Who knows? It ain't about that. We never compare ourselves. What we do is, you got to remember, comparison is the thief of joy. You got to compare your skills and then learn how to do it like that. Can you practice trades? Yeah, it's called paper trading. Paper trading. Compare your skills and then get your skill up. You buy one contract, then what happens then is, you said, did I get kicked out? Yeah, I did. I put my stop loss way up, right? I get up to here, like I told you before. Let me just walk y'all through that again. Where is that? I put it right here. We're going to look for a second trade. So boom, let's say the option price is 50 and then boom, it's going up, it's running up, it's running up, it's running up. And I bought it at $50 though. You could argue, okay, I bought 40 of them at $50, but it's running up. I have my 10% stop loss, but then I see this thing running up. So what I do, let's say it go to 75, I put my stop loss on 70. So then I get kicked out. Just like that. You said you never get the same price as me. Cat MBS. Cat, shout out to you. But understand, all you got to do, it's not easy. I don't want to make it sound easy, but it is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. When you set the chart up like how I have it, and you just wait for your confirmations, then you just use the risk management. Because notice, when you look at our plan, and when you think about our laws of how we trade, it's all about risk management. That's the whole idea, right? Risk management. What I mean by that is you have a certain amount of money you don't want to lose. So then we risk manage. How do you get past the delay? Keenan's trades. But again, it's not so much about getting in at the same price as me. Like I was saying, how I was trying to get in at 49, right? I didn't get in at 49. I got in at 50. But even if I got in at 55 and then it runs up to 70 or something, 65, I'm still doing well. Right. Risk management is the foundation. Remember, you are not a trader. You are an investor who trades, but more specifically, you are an investor who practices risk management. You are not a trader. You are a risk manager. Yeah. So I had pulled it up. You said 120? Yeah. I pulled it up and I posted it here on the live stream where I said we were looking at the 1913. We had to switch it up because the price actually got pretty good. Great question. You said when you hit sell to close, which stop loss are you choosing? I'm just hitting stop. And then you pick the amount of contracts. Usually it's all of them. So, all right, let's come back. We're approaching the yellow line again. What we can look for now is a potential re-entry, right? We're looking at potential re-entry. So we got out of that one. Now we're looking for a potential on the re-entry. Re-entry means buying another one. Okay, so we're still above the normal entry on the calls. So I'm not looking at puts yet. You say you didn't put a stop loss? Family, hold up. Bruh. You got to. Learn how to do a stop loss before you buy any trade. Yep, exactly. So again, listen, you miss anyone, don't worry about that. Let it go. So what we're going to do is this. We're looking for a re-entry. If I would have came on the stream right now, technically I would have missed the entry before. So now I'm just looking for what I could do. Yeah, and at a minimum, paper trade, right? Paper trade, so you can learn how to do the entries as well. So yeah, what am I looking at right here? I see that we're on a uptrend level of support. Yo, you would have thought we could tell a future, family. I'm telling you. You would have thought we could tell a future. Look at this. You see these buyers right here? What am I describing as buyers? This long wick. How do we know that this long wick was going to be there? We drew this line a long time ago because it's on an uptrend. It's just shallow. It's on an uptrend. We could see that these buyers were going to be here, just like we could see that buyers would be here unless we break through the uptrend. Right? And that's what we want to see if it happens. If your stop loss is 5%, will it execute early? It can. But early meaning if you're getting some like volatility at that time. But remember, using a 5% stop loss is a part of the game. How do you stop loss on a paper trade? I imagine it's the same. But that's a great question. But yeah, you'd have thought we could tell the future. Look at this. How did we know that we were going to bounce off of this yellow line? At least a little bit. Nancy Pelosi, man. Nancy. She called me up. Nancy called me up. Listen, I told her to lose the number though. Hold up. Hello? Yeah, I'm looking for re-entry right now, Nance. Uh-huh. Yeah. Put some respect on your name.
Put some respect on my name.
I got you. Let's get it. All right, let's get back to it, family. So we still on the Qs right now. TQQQ. We didn't get back in yet, but we're looking. We're at this. You see this, the buyers right here? We could tell that they were there because we're still on this same level, this yellow line. All this yellow line is an ascending level of support. That's all it is, right? It's nothing fancy. It's just, I look, oh, here's a bottom. Basically, here's a bottom. Here's a bottom. And now we're getting another one, right? But I do want you to see, though, it's getting weaker, right? Like the jumps, they're getting weaker. What do I trade on? Weeble. I had tagged it. All right, yeah. So look, I'm going back to the Qs right now. I'm going to look at the same exact one. Right? The same exact one that I was just in. is now, it costs 51, 53, 51 and 53. I'm looking at the TQQQ. I'll show you right here. Again, when I enter it, I always put the receipts on Keenan's trades. A lot of the family, what they do is they keep Keenan's trades up in the background, especially when they hear me, like when they start to, I get that look in my eyes and they can tell, yo, Keenan about to jump in. You know what I'm saying? But again, what I want you to understand is a lot of these YouTubers, you heard me say this a million times, they not who they say they are. They don't know how to trade. So then they will never show you. So look, right here, let me blow this up a little bit. But I'm not them, I'm different. I'll get on here and show you that I know what I'm talking about. And I'm not perfect, let's be clear. I'm not perfect, I grow, I learn every day. I'm gonna make a mistake. It's part of being human. But understand this, that's how we develop these skills. So, okay, 52 and 53. This is what I'm looking at right now. What expiration am I looking at right now? This one is the same one. It's the January 13th now at the $19 strike, and it is a call. This is what I'm looking at. I'm not in it yet. And when you hear me call out the numbers, I'm calling out the ones on the bottom. So right now it's at 50. This screenshot says 53, but I'm looking at it live and it's on 50. Again, I'm about to X out this screen. This one is the January 13th. AKA expiration today, $19 put. I'm not in it yet. Or not, the call. It's the call. So let me X this too. This was the first trade. Okay, so she broke. Take a look at this. She broke our level. She broke through our golden line of support. She's trying not to respect it anymore. You say you appreciate me? I appreciate you.
Put some respect on my name.
I appreciate you, big dog. Straight up. You say you hit sell or buy. You got to hit sell to close. Yep, I'm looking at it now. She's at 43, 46 because she's breaking through our level. And there are other people who are looking at this too, who are trying to buy this. And that's how it is. They see it too. They selling like, oh, whoa, we broke through. They probably trading the same exact level. And then it broke through, so they try to rush out and sell. So look, this golden line is no longer being supported. So since it's not a part of something that's being respected anymore, and we have a confirmation, an entire candle that lives beyond this level of support, this trend is dead. So now we made a quick 380 looking at that trend, and now we can't because we got to trade with the chart and that trend is dead. So we can X out of that. But now we're back to the fundamentals of what we had before. And now we're going back on a little bit of a downtrend. And we almost headed into the gamble zone. However, at the top of the gamble zone, you could argue that it's going to rush down to the bottom and just bounce around. So you could argue, yes, that you could technically get a put after like a support like this. The argument is there, but it's risky. But as long as you understand the risks and you are being responsible, you could make money here. So, okay, I'm going to go and check out and look, you see how it's bouncing off of this level of support now? This previous level of resistance is the bouncing off of it, the sellers. So I'm going to go to the TQQ again. TQQQ, looking for puts now, TQQQ. We are in the gamble zone, basically, not totally. We didn't confirm in there, but we're basically in there. So, okay, puts. Expiration today, 17.5 is at 63. 17.5 strike is at 63 on the ask side. We are basically in the gamble zone, which we already know what time it is with the gamble zone. You said the RSI is at 39. That's what the family is saying. I'm seeing 47 on the 5 minute. And you said it's crossing under the EMA. So, okay. Remember, like I told you before, if you shoot this shot from here, this is like a half court shot. It could go in, but it's a half court shot. Great point. I want to say your name is Hey BB. If I'm saying it incorrectly, no disrespect, big dog. You know I got respect for you.
Put some respect on my name.
Why, be mindful of your day trades. Be mindful. You said, and we already identified those buyers down there. That's a fact. That's a fact. You probably still got it drawn. But this is a level of support, and we kind of breaking through it. I'm looking at the 17.5 January 13th put. Strike 17.5. Oh yeah, you right. Good point. The MACD crossing down. So I could play it. I could play that. We in the gamble zone though. So let's see. MACD crossing down. We did not confirm yet, but we are in the gamble zone. In between two blue lines is a coin toss. However, the MACD crossing down is a sign, and the RSI is not oversold. This is a sign of sellers coming in. So now she's 65. She was just 62, 63. So, hey, I missed the entry on the gamble zone one. But we already knew. It's a gamble anyway, so you don't want to make it too risky for yourself. And there's a whole lot of sellers at the ask price of 65. Right now it's at 64. But when it gets up to 65, there was an extreme amount of sell orders right there. And they're getting eaten up. Yeah, they're getting eaten up. Okay, so now she's at 65. We're in the gamble zone. Let's see. She's at 65. Starting to show a little bit of strength, a little baby amount of strength, but we already know what time it is with the gamble zone, you see? High risk, super high risk, highest risk. You said the SPY made it out the gamble zone? Let's go and check. It's probably looking just like the Qs. Remember this chart, right? This is kind of a letter M, but it's like diagonal, right? Try to remember that letter. So let's see if the SPY look exactly the same. You see it? Kind of like a letter M. They're doing the same thing. Okay, so let's go back to the Qs. That same one is at 65 now. Yeah, I think she about to pump. Like to the downside. All right. So she's at 64. I can see the sellers on the top. The sellers is trying to push her down. You see that long wick right there? They're trying to push her down. But we do have some newer buyers about right here. She's finding support right here. Let me move this line. I'll move it back. But she's finding support about right here. 1 confirmation, 2, and then 3. So I guess this wouldn't be early in trying to call. I'm using this line as a support line now to talk to me. Can I change the green line? Yeah, sure. Since we've been in here for so long, we could change all of these lines. So the green line, let's put it at the peak of today. Early entry on a call now, I would say, is right here. So you look at the price. So green line, right? Pay attention to this. If you want to do this yourself, the green line, we putting this at the peak of today or the peak in the pre-market or the peak of yesterday. If they're all the same, then that's a great sign. Now we're looking at early entry on a call. We look at the most recent candle. This, take a blue line and put it at where the sellers are or where peaks are right before that. So you see this peak right here. If we could break above this, then this would be an early entry on a call. Our blue line, we want to look for levels of support. This is the most recent candle. So we got this right here. It's having trouble breaking down. We got this, same thing. And then this here. So early entry on a put. 3 confirmations. Our call area has like 1, 2, 3, like I'll say 2, 1 and then 2 confirmations. But this early entry on a put, but we're in the gamble zone. You say you got the RSI at, are you on a 5-minute, big dog? I got my RSI at 46. So now this option is at 62. You said, would I put a purple line at 1780? Let's see. $90. Yo, shout out to you though, big dog, for real. Shout out to you. How I say your name, big dog? Sessions, let me know if that's how I say your name right. I gotta turn this up real quick. I gotta put some respect on your name.
Put some respect on my name.
What am I talking about? So, let me elaborate for those of you who are new here. My dog just pointed out something that I didn't even consider, right? We talked about it in the past. The purple line. If you've ever played basketball or even understand what a 3-point line is and a half-court line is, this will make sense to you. Taking a call option or a put option, let's say you're taking a call above the green, that's like a layup. You can miss a layup, it can happen, but it's an easier shot. Taking a put down here below the red, layup. When you play the blue lines, this is like hitting a corner 3, right? You shooting a 3-point shot. You can still make it, right? But it's a little harder than the layup. When you're in the gamble zone, you are shooting from half court, right? You far out. You can still make it, but it's far. Now, what we did one time, right? I don't want to add it in too much because I feel like I could throw some of you off a little bit, but it's this, the purple line. The purple line is when you're shooting from half, but you wide open. It's better than having defense on you. So, okay, purple line, I make this purple, and I'll show you why I put it where I put it. This is at about, let me just double check. The price action is so close, right? The price action is so close that it's kind of hard to exactly tell, but it's like 390 something, right? So why is it important? This is a previous resistance. We are in the gamble zone, but we do have previous information on it back here. Popping above this. So you see how we're finding resistance there again? So I want to say this is like, for whatever reason, it's not telling me, but I want to say it's like 395, right? 396 in that range. You said great analogy. Let's go. Let's go. But that's all I got on that analogy.
I ain't got no more talk.
Let me turn this down too so this music ain't bursting your ears out. All right, yeah. But look, this is like a half-court shot. You can make it, but you would be wide open, right? It's better than having defense on you. So, okay. Now, with that being said, we still in the gamble zone. Let's not get it twisted. Right? Let's not get it twisted. Okay. So for now, though, I'm going to delete the purple line because I don't want to take no half-court shots. Not right now, but my dog, you peeped that. We're in the gamble zone, and it is what it is. I'm going to actually add that in right here. So I got my gamble zone here. Let me go grab this text. Control C. Let me go back to my cues. Drawing. Text. Control V. Gamble zone. This one you playing in Vegas, baby. You say you love the music? Let's get it. Is the VIX a good indicator to determine the market? Let me tell you something. Basically, all of them are. All indicators work well, right? But you got to find the one that you could stick to, right? There are people who are using clouds. There are people who are using like volume profile. There are people who are using 1348 EMA, 200 EMA, right? All of these things. Find the one that you will rely on. You got to think of, we'll come back to charts real quick, but I want to talk to you for a second. You got to find the indicators that work for you. Think of it like a diet, right? Some people are on Atkins diets. Some people try to go vegetarian or vegan in an effort to lose weight. Not everybody, but some people do. Some people just try to eat, you know, straight up just no carbs or no sugar. You got to find out, or some people calorie count. Some people count their macros. Notice all of these different diets, Weight Watchers, right? They don't work for everybody. You got to find the one that you could stick to. Because guess what? If you stick to it and you listen to it, then it'll work. But if you going off the track and you listen to it sometimes, it won't work. If you on the Atkins diet, some of y'all might have even been on that. If you on the Atkins diet, it could work if you stick to it. If you on no carbs, it could work if you stick to it. But if you eating carbs on Tuesdays, but you thought you wasn't really eating no carbs, you want some keto diet, listen, you got to stick to it. And then that's how it'll work. The same exact thing is true with the charts. Same exact thing. You find something that you will allow to speak to you, and then you will win like that. So now, boom, I'm looking at the puts. I'm looking at the 1750 still, right? I'm still looking at the 1750. We are breaking out of the gamble zone a little. I'm still looking at the 1750. However, I do understand, right? I do understand that the price is now getting in the 70s, and we saw it at the 65. But straight up gamble zone. We're looking for a confirmation below it. You said helped you so much. I appreciate you, family. Much love for that. For real. Because I'm telling you, I try to get on here and really show you how it's done instead of just telling you how it's done. You say you be counting your macros. Hey, man, listen, that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, look, we're confirming out of the gamble zone. We can see the little baby buyers. They there, but they're little, pequeño. Family is my people who know how to speak a little Spanish. Is pequeño small? That's what I thought I was trying to say. Let me know. Put some respect on my Spanish.
Put some respect on my name.
So yeah, we got our confirmation right here. So okay. Let's go. You said let's look at the 17 instead. We can. Let's try to look at a lower priced one. 17 is about 49. So see, amigo, let's go. Let's get it. Okay, yeah, so we got our buyers, though. They're trying to push her up a little bit, just a little. So now I'm looking at, I changed up from the 7. I'll show you again. If I'm looking to enter, then what I'll do is I'll talk to you about it. So my patience is something else. Family, it has to be, because we have to respect our money. We have to respect our money. I'm looking at this one. January 13th, $17 strike, put option now. When I took this screenshot, it was 48. Right? So check this. Notice how the candle, and I gotta ask you you let me know in the chat. This candle broke through. However, looking at this one now, do we have confirmation on that put? Yes or no? Do we have confirmation on this put, the early entry on a put? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no? Did this give us confirmation that we should get into a put? Or it's just halfway through, so that's not confirmation. So yes, it gave me confirmation, or no? No confirmation. A confirmation candle lives totally below. So I'll put it even right here, right? Just so you can see. That blue line is what we're looking at. A confirmation candle lives totally below. It's not on it. So when you hear people say, man, I'm waiting for confirmation, this is what they're talking about. They're waiting for it to actually respect that line. This one looked like it was, but then it started jumping back in. We never got the confirmation. And oftentimes you got to wait for the candle to close. And then that's the confirmation, right? So we were, let's be real. We were hoping that this one was going to confirm to the downside. Yeah, one thing I gotta take a second and just give y'all a huge, show y'all some respect, right? I gotta put some respect on your name.
Some respect on my name.
And I gotta say this. The fact that I could tell that all of us in here, none of us are getting married to the direction. Usually it'd be, I remember I was doing lives and people, oh man, it's going down, man. The stocks is going down, blah, blah, blah. Everybody crying. Now everybody's saying, yo, are we playing the puts now? Or are we playing the calls now? What you did was you're no longer married to the direction of the market on your trades. Obviously, we want our Apple, our VTI, our SPYs, our Tesla stock. Obviously, we want those things, our Bitcoin, to go up. But when you look at it from a trader's perspective, you're not married. You're not married to the direction because you know it's money to be made on both sides. So I want to just give y'all some respect on that. So now let's check the SPY. Somewhat, right? SPY looked like it was trying to confirm, but we still on that line, a little bit, right? It's very likely that we're going to just appear really, really close. So SPY tried to, but it's still ever so slightly on that line. Let's look at the Qs again. So, yep, it's looking like we're going to confirm in the gamble zone on the Qs. That's right. So now, family, look, since we jumping back in the gamble zone and I've been on a live for a minute, right? It's looking like we're just going to be playing in the gamble zone. So I'm not going to be on here too long. I'm going to actually go back and just check out the SPY one more time. SPY is more likely to confirm down than the Qs are at this moment because the Qs is in the gamble zone. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. We reorganized. We didn't reorganize SPY. We reorganized the Qs. So we would have to do that. But we basically back in the gamble zone again, right? So what I want you to do is this. Trade with the chart, not with your heart. We got our first trade, our only trade actually today. Oh, no, that's not even it. That's not even it because it had went higher than this. Hold up. Let me go back real quick. Here we go. This is where we got to today. And like I told you, you put the stop loss up high. And then think about what you make in an hour and compare that to this. So now 380, throw this on the scoreboard, right? 380. I want to say we've been hot for a while. The last recorded loss was in November. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, never get over cocky. How you remember that? Rule number 5, or actually law number 5. The game ain't fair. TA works 70% of the time. So if I did 10 straight and they were wins, that means that the news or the manipulation, they just waiting for me, right? They waiting for me. So I'll never get too cocky. I always got to stay humble, use my stop loss, and never trade more than 5% of my portfolio and try to get rich overnight. So trust your zones. You know what time it is. Please, yep, you say you're going to rewind this. Let's get it. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you in the next one. But if you can't handle the heat of these hot stocks and stay out of the kitchen, consider investing in index funds. Discord family, @Keenan Grace if you need me. And what am I gonna do? Oh, hold up. Let me turn off the music for this one. It's a fake Keenan Grace in the Discord. I am not DMing you. I am not telling you about some secret trade that I'm doing. There's no Bitcoin, none of that. Right? So hold up. Make sure that you're not responding to no DMs. And it's somebody trying to sell you something in there. I banned him, but he already was able to add a few people in there before he got banned. But me and TJ got him up out of there. So I love y'all. I see you in the next one. At your boy in this. Watch this again because I want you to really, I leave these up in the announcement section. You understand? So you could see how could I, meaning you, how could I be profitable, right? Like my dog said earlier, no disrespect, dog, but we got to pick on you because you said it, right? My dog said, yo, the man, you know, just waiting sometimes is just boring. Listen, boring will keep you green. Boring will keep you green. Anybody that's ever been in a toxic relationship, you know, there ain't nothing more exciting than a toxic relationship. That's real exciting. Everything's going on all the time, but it's not exciting in the way that you would hope. So I see you on the next one. I love y'all. Take care.